Hello, Internet. I am back. Thank you, by the way, for making me reach my 100 subs goal, first goal reached. That means a lot to me. Today, what I really want to talk about is Islamophobia. I live in Canada, and now there's laws passed against Islamophobia and things like that, and I am very offended. I personally am not straight, okay? And many of my friends aren't. Uh, many of my friends are non-Muslims. Uh, Many of my friends are not religious at all in general. And if any religion would come and say that all of my friends and I should die because of our beliefs or because of things that we can't even change, like our sexuality, you know, it it makes me mad. It makes me fearful, and it's not a phobia. A phobia, let me pull out the definition here of phobia by Merriam-Webster, because don't look at Google for definitions. That's the first mistake. Definition of phobia by Merriam-Webster: an exaggerated, usually inexplicable and illogical fear of a particular object, class of objects, or situation. So clearly, the gay, lesbian, trans, Eastern Europeans, Central Europeans, apostates, anybody that's fearful of Islam and Sharia law is not um, it's not an exaggerated and inexplicable and illogical fear. It's not illogical to be fearful of something that wants you dead for something you cannot change and you cannot make better. You know, that's the word Islamophobia in itself is a fallacy, and people should stop using it because it's just discrediting them every time they use it. You can't just change the definition of words. I'm done with like trying to pretend that it's okay to change the definition of words. Stop doing that. It's a no. Stop doing that. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to mention before I say what I want to say about Islam and Islamophobia particularly. I want to say that I am Romanian, Serb. I am born in Canada, but my parents, are born over there. I'm the black sheep of my family, only person born outside of Europe, you know. And I never realized like the history. I started to understand slowly and surely. I started to look into the history of Tepes, Vlad the Impaler, Dracula, the history of the Dacians, the Romanians, the Ottomans, basically. What happened with the Ottomans in the Balkans. Um, while all of Western Europe was busy fighting between themselves, okay, you had Eastern Europe, Central Europe, and Spain that were protecting Europe from an invasion that now is being swept under the rug by historians and schools and politicians. Everyone is just trying to erase this history of slavery, murder, abuse, like sex, like rape, that happened for multiple centuries. Okay, and every time people bring up this crusade, it's not that the Christians. It's not that the world was all flowers and like good smells and trees and birds, and all of a sudden they woke up and they're like, you know what? Let's go kill all the Muslims. That's not what happened. Okay, that's not what happened. So it's very disingenuous to just bring that part up, like Christians are the evil in the story, because there's a reason why this happened, and it sure ain't because they just felt like it, okay? So I'm gonna post the links that I researched, and I'm not gonna like read a lot because I'm seeing that this video is already gonna be pretty long. But I just want to point out that slavery in the Ottoman Empire was a big thing. It was a big thing. Anyone that wasn't of the faith, uh, if you had a lot of money, you could own slaves, but obviously not Muslim slaves. And but they would take people and sell them on the slave market. A lot of them. I'm trying to find numbers here. Uh, it, in the it, it started like in the 1400s and went on through centuries up until it didn't quite stop. Like even as late as in 1908, female slaves were still sold in the Ottoman Empire. You know, it's we're sweeping all this history under the rug, and when people say white people haven't been slaves for real and things like that, that's just wrong. That's just wrong. Everyone was enslaved at some point or another, and to try to say that Poland is wrong for refusing migrants because they're migrants, not refugees, there's much proof of that now. If you leave the country, you're a refugee in because you don't like the food. I'm sorry, and to go back to your war-torn country that you're fleeing, that means you're not a refugee. You're a migrant, economic migrant. That's a word for that. And to try to shame Poland or any country that refuses to participate in that and that isn't like getting destroyed by this is fucked up. You should stop doing that right now. Okay. It's it breaks my heart to think that now we're just putting people in categories and we're going to try to say that Polish people, Romanian people, Slavs are racist or bigoted because they don't want to get invaded. Because that's what's happening. I I hope that everyone understands and all the Muslims that came here and want to live in the Western world fight on our side to keep Western civilization. Western civilization is not a dirty word. It's not something rotten. When my mom and my dad fled communist Romania in the 80s, and they came here as refugees from communist Romania, they didn't come to Western society because they didn't have nowhere else to go. They came here because it meant freedom, it meant opportunity, it meant a better life, it meant food, it meant me having a real chance in life, you know. Although the education system here is fucking. Anyways, yes. What what the Ottomans did for centuries, and by the way, when I say Ottomans, I mean Muslim Turks. Okay, uh, is something that needs to be brought up. They they would take your firstborn son, okay, and they would indoctrinate him, and he would come and then attack your people. Think about that. They would take your firstborn son. And a good example of the cruelty of the Ottoman Empire is what happened to Vlad the Impaler, Dracula, Vlad Tepes. Um, he, him and his brother were taken as hostages, as a political coin, let's just say, to make sure that his father would obey and do what he said he would do. And they took him and his younger brother, Radu, and they brought them with them back in Turkey, unless I'm wrong over here. And yeah, basically they were hostages, and they were brought underground in dungeons, and they tried to assimilate those two boys. And his brother Radu was released really early, and he did assimilate, did embrace the faith of Islam, and Vlad did not. So he spent a big part of his growing up ages locked in a dungeon, beat and tortured by Ottomans. Okay, and people never wonder, why did he impale people? How did he know that impaling people was the worst things you could do to the Ottomans to like, spread fear into their hearts? How did he know that? He was raised there, grew up there. He saw that that's how they did, that's what they did to people, and he saw how it was the worst thing you could do to somebody. So when they let him go, thinking he would be, um, when they believed him, when they believed that he would obey and serve them, they let him go. He went back and he escaped at first to Moldova. He stayed there for some time with his cousin and close friend Stephen. Then he went. He ousted the Turks. He became the true prince of Wallachia, and he famously impaled them. He got them. He impaled his brother, and he impaled the royalty, the older one, so that the younger ones could see what he did to them, so they would know not to come back. You know, I'm not gonna go farther in detail in the history as I see this video is getting pretty long right now, but I do really suggest you go look it up. And if I did a mistake in what I just said over here, please correct me. That's why I'm not saying exact dates, because all the sources I found, there's a lot of information. I'm not going to start naming you how many slaves there were. There were like hundreds of thousands of Romanians being taken as slaves, hundreds of thousands of Hungarians, and Polish people, and etc. etc. There's a lot of people that got enslaved. A lot of people got killed by the sword, and it was, although they didn't win, there was a lot of very bloody wars, and a lot of very fucked up shit happened. Okay, and they were invading. Okay, this ideology did not change since then. It hasn't changed in 500 years. Okay, and like I said, even early 90s, they're still selling sex slaves. I'm pretty sure that it's not properly done right now if you dig up the information. So anyways, that's a little history I wanted to bring up. What I want to say is that anybody that has met me, anybody that talks to me on the internet knows that I will talk to everybody as a person. I will respect everybody until they give me a good reason not to. I mean, good reason, not just disagree with me. You know, I'll blow up once in a while like everybody. But what I'm trying to say here is that I by what I'm doing here, I'm also trying to protect Muslims. Okay, I'm trying to wake people up and understand that promoting female genital mutilation is not okay. I'm even against circumcision. Okay, and they're trying to bring it back here in North America now. We gotta fight that. Anybody that wants female genital mutilation, that is for child marriages, that that is for the murder of apostates or gays. And now there's like a lot of very credible polls that have been done that showed very scary numbers about how many of them actually want me dead if they know what I feel in my heart, my sexuality. And I'll still fight for them. If they change their minds and they want to live their religion and their whole family wants to kill them, I'm still gonna stand by their side even if they want me dead. Okay. I just hope that the fact that I'm showing them this mercy, not this mercy, that's the wrong word. What I'm trying to say is that this compassion, I'm trying to show compassion, and I'm hoping that it spreads on their side too, so they look at me and they say, maybe I don't want you dead because you're not straight. Okay? Because we're all humans, and I argue with people that are very close to me about this. Some people don't believe there's hope, and I'm telling you, there's a lot of hope. And like Ayana Axiali, sorry for butchering the name, has said, people and Christians and everybody need to compete for the hearts of those young people that are getting radicalized. The PC culture has stopped Christians from being able to compete with the hearts of those lost kids that are just they don't feel like they got a place anywhere, and the wrong solution is to throw bombs on them. The wrong solution is to bring them all here before understanding what's going on. And most of the time, with the amount of money it takes to resettle refugees, you can actually save like hundreds of thousands for the price of 10,000 if you just resettle them closer to home. And the culture shock won't get that. So this was what I wanted to say about Islamophobia. The word is a fallacy. Everyone should stop using it. You're just you're just throwing the argument in the garbage. There's been great imams now speaking about reform, about how we need to stop closing our eyes on those situations, and how we need to stick together. We need to stick together because authoritarianism is hitting us from every side, and we need to stop it. We can't let them win. And when I say that, people are like, "What do you mean? Do you mean get violent?" No, what I mean is speaking out, questioning. I'm not even saying downright being against Islam. I'm saying questioning it, reading up on it, talking to others, and not shaming others that are trying to open a discussion that might save many lives. And I'm talking about Muslim lives too. Do you not realize what could happen if we don't stop this crisis? I don't even want to think about it. I don't want to think about it. So I'm not even going to bring up the fact that these people over there need a lot of help. I know a lot of the women and kids there, and even men, are stuck in that regime too. It doesn't mean because they're there that they want to participate, but they have to. So all these things people have to keep in mind. People need help. It's not by ignoring the problem that we're going to help them. So that's what I wanted to say. Sorry this video is so long. Honestly, I'm so sorry. And I want to do the jump cuts and everything, but my computer is really like, I tried downloading another program and it didn't work. So this computer is just ready for the garbage. So you're going to have a raw, very long video, but that's what I got for you. I hope you have a great day and night, and can understand my point of view, and hopefully this video is shareable to make your friends understand that it's not racist to question an ideology. Okay, you can't be a Christianophobe just as much as you can't be an Islamophobe. Thank you very much for your time. Mwah. Take care of yourselves, world. Let's fix this place. The love of everything that is good. Bye. See you soon.